I've been here since very early this morning, as have the fishermen. Right now, what you're witnessing behind me is a shamanic ritual, actually. There are very few practices left in China. This is one of the few. They are celebrating the goddess of the lake, asking for a bounteous harvest, asking for peace and prosperity. Now, I've got to tell you, it is extremely cold right now, so I have worn pretty much all my clothes. As I've got thick thermals, I've got my ski gear on, I've got 2 layers of socks on, but I am still absolutely frozen. My feet, I can't feel my feet anymore. And just to let you know how cold it is, I've prepared this thing, which just shows you it's currently minus 20 right now, although it could be colder because this only goes down to minus 20. So you can have a really good idea right now just how much people want to see this festival. We have loads of tourists here with us today. We have supporters. Once this is done, everybody will be moving to the mission location later, which is one way. So if our battery runs out because it is so cold, we might switch to our drone. So you might see footage of the actual location, but not to worry, we're still here. So after this dance is finished, the fishermen who will be performing the actual ice fishing today will be going up to that sacrificial altar and burning incense to the goddess of the lake. Right now, they're all over there preparing to bring up the fish. Earlier this morning, we saw them dig 7 to 8 holes in the ice, and I've got to say I was a bit worried at first because they were going at it pretty hard, but then they told me actually the ice is about 70 centimeters thick, which, just to give you a bit of idea, that's the length of my arm. That's how thick, that's how... I'm not going to fall into the hole, but they've dug 8 of them this morning using hammers, using chisels, and even a little something extra, which hopefully we'll get to show you later on. And they've just used one net. In that one net, hundreds of thousands of kilograms of fish today. Actually, they broke a world record in 1998. One net, they were able to catch 430,000 kilograms of fish. Amount, but not to worry, this lake is absolutely massive. Actually, Jingpo Lake is China's largest barrier lake. It's also the world's largest volcano. 10,000 years ago, I'll just give you a bit of history. 10,000 years ago, this lake used to be a part of the Heilongjiang River. After a volcanic eruption happened, it blocked off part of the river which formed this lake. Although this lake is actually feeds into the Songhua River, which is one of the main rivers in China. So no worries, plenty of water, plenty of fish. In fact, the deepest part of this lake is it's almost 70 meters. On average, it's about 40 meters deep. And of course, the ice is thick enough so that we won't fall in. I just want to draw your attention to the drums. Song and dance is an integral part of the shamanic practices here. There are actually very few shamanic practices left in the world. You have it in Russia, there are here in China, it's only in Mongolia, in the northern part of China, and here in Heilongjiang Province, where there are still shamans. And this dance today belongs to one of the 2 main branches of shamans. And after this finishes, hopefully, if the goddess of the lake blesses us, it means we'll be able to get a big harvest. So if you're just joining us, you're watching us live on CGTN, China Global Television Network. I'm your host, Tiren He, and currently we are at the 6th Annual Ice Fishing Festival here in Heilongjiang Province, in China's northernmost province. currently, we just finished watching a shamanic ritual, and now the fishermen who are going to be performing today's amazing feat are going to get smashed. There we go. There we go. So the ritual is finished, the ceremony is done, and everyone now is going to head over to the spot where the ice fishing will actually happen. You just saw the fishermen, all of the gentlemen wearing fur hats. They're the fishermen who are going to be hauling up these nets today, hopefully bringing in a massive bounty of fish. And they just down bowls of liquor, not just to strengthen the spirit, but I'm sure to also put some feeling back into their numb bodies, because it is so cold right now. I've got this little thermometer with me. It's now minus 20. It was minus 20. I was holding it earlier, which is probably why it's warmer. But now, I'd like you to join us, and we're going to head over there and go check out the holes from which the nets will be brought up. Just to let you know, while we're moving over there, we might switch to some drone footage, so you'll get an idea of how big this place is and just how many people have turned up, and you'll also, hopefully, be able to see the holes from which the negs will be dragged up. I think you'll find it really, really interesting. It's not like what you imagine. I thought that most ice fishing was kind of like the stuff you do in Northern Europe, you know, one person sitting on a stool with a little fishing pole, just waiting there for hours. But no, here, it's a big group effort. Here, huge amounts of fish come out, and here, there are big stakes. To the hole. So, it might be a little bit while we're trying to. If you're just joining us at home, you're watching us live. Jingpo Lake. I'm your host Tiran He, and you're watching Travelogue on CGTN China Global Television. We're just currently heading over to the extremely deep holes that have been dug into the surface of this frozen lake. They're using one net here to try and catch as much fish as possible. In 1998, they caught a whopping 430,000 kilograms of fish. That's 430 tons of fish, more than any other lake in the world. More than any other ice fishing festival in China. And I was going to say, there are a lot of ice fishing festivals in China. You might have heard of Chagan Lake, and there are also many lakes in northern China where they do ice fishing festival. But the tradition here stands many years here. Local fishermen, local Manchus, used to come here to essentially have a winter harvest, because in winter, no source of protein, obviously no way to grow crops. And they would come here and make a hole in the ice, just like you would for normal ice fishing, and grab some fish and feed their family. But now it's become a big tradition. And also in other ice fishing festivals, they have something called a toyu, which is the first fish out of the lake, which will often either be auctioned off, but here they actually let it go because it adheres to the old shamanic practices. You always let the biggest fish go to hope for more fish next year, and to also hope for a big bounty next year. So now we're just slowly making our way over to the ice lake, and it is a lot warmer now. I'm pretty sure it's still minus 16, but it is significantly warmer now. There is something the locals say here. It's a phrase, and it goes "gui ci ya," which essentially means it's so cold, even the teeth. Sorry, it's so cold, even ghosts' teeth are chattering. And I actually experienced that last night when we got here. It was close to minus 25 or so. Everyone was absolutely frozen stiff, and I could actually hear the ghosts of ancestors either howling, or maybe that was the wind, but it was extremely cold. And these cars right now, ice drifting corners earlier. These great big pickups were running donuts and doing 360s and 720s earlier on the ice. Of more time. Just wanted to ask you guys at home, actually, if there's any questions you'd like to ask us, please do comment, and we will answer you in real time. As long as I can still feel my hands, we'll get out our phones and we'll answer you. So please feel free to comment in the sections below. What I gotta say, it is extremely fresh. It's beautiful here. The sun is shining down, and the weather is. Coming from Beijing, the weather is a lot nicer here, even though it is extremely cold. You might have also seen earlier that the ladies and gentlemen who were dancing were wearing very badly cut some of the ethnic Manchu. Funny thing is, the last dynasty of China, the Qing dynasty, was actually set up by the Manchus, and many years ago. This place was off limits to normal people because it was from here that the Manchus originated. So we're actually very lucky to be here today to witness such a spectacle. And hopefully we will have a lot of fish being caught later on. And if you are just joining us at home, you're watching Travelogue at CGTN, China Global Television Network. My name is Tiran He, and we're live from Jingpo Lake for the 6th annual ice fishing festival. This place, Heilongjiang Province, is actually the northernmost part of China, which means it is extremely cold. We are roughly on the same level as Hokkaido in Japan. We're even further north than the DPRK. And right now, we're trying to make our way to the holes from which nets will be brought up. And this is our car. We'll see you there in a bit. But as we make our way there, I just want to let you guys know we may switch to some aerial footage, so don't be worried, we're still with you. If you're just joining us from home, you're watching us on CGTN, China Global Television, and I'm your host, Tiran He, filming for Travelogue, the 6th annual ice fishing festival here in Heilongjiang Province. Us on CGTN, China Global Television Network. Just wanted to repeat us at home. You're watching us live on CGTN, China Global Television Network. I'm your host, Tiran He, and we're with Travelogue at the 6th annual ice fishing festival. We're currently making our way to the fishing hole from which a gigantic net will be hauled up later on. You guys know of this event. In 1998, they hauled a massive 30,000 of fish using 40 tons, which I'm pretty Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, I'm your host Heath for Travelog, and you're watching the CGTN China Global Television Network. We're at the 6th Annual Ice Fishing Festival on Jingpo Lake in Heilongjiang Province, which is China's northernmost province. We're actually roughly about the same level as Hokkaido in Japan, and we're actually even further north than the DPRK, so you have an idea of just how cold it is. Although we actually arrived just after sunset, and the fishermen were already hard at work. It is incredibly cold right now, about -20, and they have spent their whole time digging holes to no avail because this lake is extremely deep. The fishermen have dug about 6 to 8 holes in the ice and sunk one huge net in. There's no guarantee we'll actually be able to get any fish, but fingers crossed, because in 1998, they managed to catch 430,000 kilograms of fish. And if you're on Facebook or YouTube right now, and let us know what you think about this ice fishing festival. You can be very cheeky and ask us, whether our feet are frozen, because I can tell you that right now I can't feel my toes. Also, I've got a lot of frozen condensation on my face. But feel free to ask us anything you want, because this is a once-a-year festival, and thousands of tourists and media people like ourselves have turned up for this event. And if you're just joining us, you might be seeing aerial footage of this event. You're watching CGTN China Global Television Network. I'm your host, Tiran He. And if you're watching aerial footage, you can get an idea of just how big this event is. Since in order to string nets through from one hole, able to we actually shoot it in the morning, but since this is a live broadcast, you're just going to have to watch our show. If you're just joining us at home, you're watching us live from Jingpo Lake. This is the 6th Annual Ice Fishing Festival. I'm Tiran He, and you're watching CGTN, China Global Television Network. We've just arrived at the most important location in this festival. This is where hopefully all of those hundreds of thousands of kilograms of fish will be brought up. It's really exciting because this place is extremely cold. We were in the car earlier, so currently it's just 0 degrees. But here it was minus, and we have holes in this roughly meter-thick ice. And earlier on, we saw festivals it was a ceremony to wake the goddess of the lake and also to wake the net. Essentially, what they wanted to do was make sure that we have a bountiful harvest today. There was a lot of dancing, and the fishermen who are over there right now each had a bowl of very strong liquor to, I guess, bless themselves and also bless their numb thumbs and toes and fingers and whatnot. There is actually a huge crowd. Thousands turn up to this event annually, and hopefully we'll be able to see something spectacular today. This lake is actually known for producing very, very large amounts of fish, hundreds of thousands of kilograms actually, and most of the fish that come out are carp. So we'll often have big head carp, we'll have crucian carp. Those are about the only 2 carps I know actually. But let's see if the festival might actually know about ice fishing festivals in China, and if we can somehow get in. I don't do this very often. We're just gonna just gonna squeeze through. 你好，跪一下，跪一下，你好，跪一下，跪一下，跪一下。If you guys can. If you can see over net, so I was told to get it through the ice. Eight holes. It's very interesting. So if you're watching us from home, I'm your host Tiran He. I'm just trying to put my glove on actually, and you're watching on CGTN television at the Ice Fishing Festival. Where the here since making holes in the ice and our carp. I've been told that today there's about 100,000 pounds of fish. Kilograms. A big haul. It's not record breaking. In 1998, they were able to manage. They were able to. You might have actually ice fishing festivals elsewhere in China, but Jingpo Lake, usually when fishing festivals are caught up here. Here, this is us on Facebook and YouTube. Feel free to comment and let us know if you like carp, if you think it's a horrible mud crawler. Here in China though, carp is very precious. Fish in China actually are very symbolic. You might know this, that fish is homogeneous with prosperity in China. So there is about having fish every year, which also translates to more prosperity every year. Carp in China are also symbols of success. Often people taking exams would say that they're like a carp leaping the dragon gate, which is an idiom in China about a carp leaping over a waterfall and turning into a dragon, which basically translates to, as long as you work hard, you'll be successful. And I'm pretty sure today, the fishermen early in the morning, when it was minus, it's currently only minus anymore. Yesterday we were here just preparing for everything, and my feet were and just joining us on CGTN China. Watching all of the carp. 40,000 kilograms worth of carp, which is not a bad haul. They do just use one. And for you guys at home, I don't know if you're paying attention. Because they just use one net. Create many holes. Time as long as my phone's not frozen. But I want you to have a look at that hole. Because obviously it's very cold right now, it's steaming, which is not something you expect from carp. But look at this fella. This fella is absolutely gigantic. I asked earlier whether there's any way to tell which fish is the biggest, because you let go the biggest fish, and the head fisherman told me all about experience. He'll be able to see from this hole straight away which one is the big daddy of them all. I hazarded a guess at that one, but I think maybe that one's a little bit bigger. Oh, 现在您觉得这个有多少鱼啊？
这一头上去万只鱼。
Okay, well we've got tens of thousands of kilograms already, and ask you, it's good compared to the previous year. 这个咱们今天跟往年这个鱼。gonna 拍了面吃 carp 卖还是自己吃啊？
回去卖，销售。
去卖，直接销售。Oh, okay. So more modern. Back in the. Oh, I realised I'm stepping in a puddle, a vast puddle here. Back in the days, the only ice fishermen around here would be local ethnic Manchus who come here by themselves or with their families to do a bit of ice fishing and just get some protein for the winter season. Now it has become a huge festival, and all been hauled up. Actually, I saw a delivery car over there, so they will either be sold right here, and people will be able to get them delivered to their home. To be sold off later on. So if you're watching you're on Facebook or YouTube or on our app CGTN, let us know what you think about this place. Maybe you want to let us know, and I can try and supply a middle rate for you. That's as you can tell, there are a lot of exciting tourists. There we go. I think we're almost done. So, it is currently very cold. If you're just joining us, I'm Turan He, and you're watching us live on CGTN, China Global Television Network. We're at the 6th Annual Ice Fishing Festival, and they've just hauled up tens of thousands of kilograms worth of carp. Apparently, they're actually just, I believe we're actually trying to find the biggest carp in this net, because here they have a tradition where the biggest fish from this net will be let go, which is a bit different to other ice fishing festivals where they'll auction off the fish. In fact, there was an ice fishing festival at a different lake, and the biggest fish there was sold for an incredible 860,000 RMB, which is equivalent to about 86,000 pounds. I mean, for that price, you can basically buy a Tesla. So right now we have a bunch of carp. I'm not an expert on carp. We have a lot of big head carp. We also have cushion carp. But I've actually heard that outside of China, people don't really like eating carp, which is strange. People think they're mud crawlers. They think they have too many bones. Here in China, carp is massive. People love the fish because it's a symbol of prosperity. It's a symbol of success. And obviously people keep them as... Okay, so we've just got a comment online. Someone's asking what kind of fish they are. Well, if you've just joined us, these are... There's big head carp, there's cushion carp. I can't still very cold, so I think a lot of these fish might already be freeze-dried by the time we get them to the grill. Just to give you an idea of how big this festival is, I mean, look at all the people. This is the 6th annual ice fishing festival here, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Originally, there was no festival. Originally, it was just the local Manchus who came here to fish in 1s and 2s and provide some winter sustenance for their families. It actually goes back a long way. Earlier today, okay, I thought you actually bought it. 您没有买那个鱼买了吗？
啊，没买。
您一会儿准备买鱼吗？
不卖，你现在不卖你。
Okay, well they're not ready to.
好了，谢谢。
Look at this guy. Huge fish here. He is about one of the love eating carp. Mud prawns. He's leaking a little bit. This is a big head carp. He is one of the main in this lake. The other increasing carp. Come here. You can actually see there's other people here. Watch. They've actually come out of 5:52. It off and then store it in a warehouse to be sold later on. What I want to find is the biggest fish of them all. Here there's a tradition where the biggest fish caught during this festival will be let go because according to shamanic from a very that fish that are lighter than 1.5 kilos would all be let go. We'll only get the big guys, the middle-aged fish that can be caught and eaten and whisked away. And if you're just joining fishing festival, pay for such an here. And these fishermen actually are the hardest working gentlemen of all. They've been here since, and now I think finished. 咱们今天来了，就能出来。Yeah, there's still you are. 我们能看出来。 It's all about experience. We're almost finished with this haul of fish. This one hasn't come out yet. We'll a let go. And if you're at home, you're watching CGTN China Global Network. I'm your host Tiran He, and we're live at Jingpo Lake in Heilongjiang Province, which is China's northernmost province. It's very cold. I can't actually feel my fingers right now. And I just want to show you guys, if you've just joined us, you might have missed it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You might see me wobbling a lot because the ground beneath me is frozen, wet, and very slippery. If you're just joining us, you're watching us live on CGTN China Global Television Network. I'm your host Tiran He, and we're at the 6th annual ice fishing festival here on Jingpo Lake in Heilongjiang Province, which is China's northernmost province. It's incredibly cold. My hands are actually frozen stiff. It's about -20 right now, but everyone has turned out in full force to watch this incredible ice fishing festival. Earlier today, the fishermen over there who are hauling up this huge net dug about 8 holes in the ice. The ice is about yay thick, about almost a meter thick, and they've been waiting here, net at the ready, to haul out fish. Currently, we have about 10,000 kilos of fish, maybe more. I asked a bit earlier. I think there's more now. And we're just waiting for the haul to finish and to see the biggest fish of them all, which will be let go in a shamanic ceremony. If you're just joining us and you're interested about this net, actually, the thing that's a bit different about ice fishing in China is they only use one net. This net is 800 meters long, and in order to get it underneath the ice, the fishermen have to dig holes and attach this net to a miniature submarine, which was really interesting. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show it to you guys today because they've already put it away. But if you watch our show when it broadcasts, you'll see everything in full. The submarine was actually invented by a local fisherman, and obviously revolutionized the whole ice fishing industry here. It's about yay big. It's got a motor on it, no GPS, no nothing. What they do is they just drive it, and it roughly goes in the direction they set it to go. They use this sort of bar to hook it on, to hook onto it, and then they let it go. And there will be another guy with a sort of dowsing rod, like a metal detector, just detecting it on the ice, and then they'll dig a hole at that location to bring up the submarine and set the net again. Right now, most of the fish that are being caught are carp. So we have a lot of big head carp, we have a lot of crucian carp. And I asked you guys earlier whether you like carp, because I read online that a lot of people think carp is dirty, the fish has too many bones, and it's ugly, and I just kind of made that last part up. But in China, carp is huge, and fish are a huge symbol for prosperity and success. And there are so many ways to cook fish, to cook carp in China. For example, there's sweet and sour carp, there's Sichuan fried carp, there's red braised carp. I sound a bit like Bubba Gump right now. There's a lot of carp. So let us know if you're on Facebook or YouTube, or you're watching us through our app. Let us know how you like to cook carp, because God knows we need more dishes. So currently we have a lot of fish being brought up from this net. We've got several tens of thousands of kilos of fish, and I want you to have a look at these guys. On average, they're pretty big. I mean, that guy is probably 5-6 kilos worth of meat in there. And just to let you know that we're being very environmentally friendly. The holes in this net are quite big. They're about 12 centimeters across, which means that only middle-aged fish will be caught. The little ones, under about 1.5 kilos, will be let go. Also, another thing they're letting go is the biggest fish in this hole. It's a little bit different here, this ice fishing festival, compared to other ones. Unlike other ones where they'll auction off the biggest fish from the net, here we let them go because we have to adhere to local Manchurian shamanic rituals. And also it helps to bless the harvest, and hopefully we'll get more fish next year too. Also, if you want to get in on this action, let us know, because after all of the fish have been brought up, people are going to start auctioning off the fish. You can buy them right here. I saw loads of delivery vans dotted around the lake earlier, and you can get them delivered straight to your home if you live in China. I can ask you guys about international delivery. It might cost a little bit more, but don't worry, they'll definitely be fresh, because as soon as the fish come out, they're practically frozen already. 您是今年第一次来吗？
第一次来，
觉得怎么样？
哎呀，太好了！
First time here. 您怎么听说到这个捕鱼节？
就是年年不涌啊，这是1月6号，今天听说的，完我们就来了。我们在这干活的，在京波这地方干活。今天我们没干，我们全体来。
Okay. So he's a local. It's his first time here. 那您原来没有捕鱼过吗？
有捕鱼，没有这么多，
没有那么大规模的是吧？
没有那么大规模的。
He is also an ice fishing enthusiast. He also does this, but obviously not on such a large scale. 那您今天是准备要买鱼了吧？买多少条？
我就买3条2条。
买3条2条吃。He's actually going to buy 3 or 4 of these guys, 3 or 4 of these fellas. So I hope that he'll get a good price. 这个大，这个大。
网友让你把手套戴上，你可以反应一下。
I've just been told, very kind souls online have told me to put my gloves on, and I thank them, but honestly, I can't feel my hands anymore. Plus, I've got lots of fish grit and guts and stuff. I don't really want to put it on, because I don't want to get my gloves dirty. But thank you so much. That's very kind of you. My feet are also numb, so it's okay. I'll just go home and just find a new pair of hands. If there is anything else that you guys would like to ask or would like to know, please do comment. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're also on CGTN. And if you're just joining us at home, I'm your host, Tiran He, for Travelogue on CGTN, China Global Television Network. Oh! And one of the cameramen almost just slipped. It is very icy, it's very slippery. It's about minus... Oh, well, it's only -5 right now. But we've been here since morning. We're here in Heilongjiang Province, which is China's northernmost province. We're actually so far north. We're about the same level as Hokkaido in Japan. We're further north than the DPRK, which explains obviously why it's such a winter wonderland here. And just one fella's popped out. He wants to get away. Little does he know he's going to be someone's lunch.
白鱼，大白鱼呢？那条大白鱼。
I've mentioned this before. We caught a lot of carp today. There's big head carp, there's crucian carp. Unfortunately, there's no silver carp, I think. Although that guy might be it. Because apparently silver carp like to jump. But obviously these guys are a little bit more lethargic. 你好，这2条鱼放在这儿什么意思啊？大白鱼。Oh, so that's a different species of fish. 它有什么意义吗？这个大白鱼有？啊？4大淡水鱼有一种大白鱼嘛，新海湖大白鱼这个。哦 ，OK。那这个是头鱼吗？这个是已经头鱼了，确定。Okay, so we finally have it. This is the toyu, the first fish, well, the biggest fish, sorry, out of this net. This fella is, well, things are a little bit different here. This fella is going to be let go because we're nice. And it also helps bless the lake. Hopefully we'll have more fish next year too. So this is also one of the reasons why this ice festival is quite unique. It's very different to other ice festivals. Other ice festivals auction off the biggest fish. At Chagan Lake, the biggest fish during their winter ice fishing festival was sold for 860,000 RMB. That's 86,000 pounds. That's enough for a really good car. But this fella, he's going to find a nice new life.
那咱们这师傅，咱这个头鱼多少斤呢？25斤。
That's about 13 kilograms.
这个跟往年比小还是大？一年比一年大。
Okay, so this is bigger than the fish they caught last year. And I don't know if I should pick this guy up, but you can have a look. I'll show you my leg. It's almost the length of my leg, so you can get an idea of just how big this fella is. And if they did auction it off, I do think it's going to go for, well, at least several thousand pounds, at least tens of thousands of RMB. If you guys are just joining us at home, you're watching us live on CGTN China Global Television Network. And leave comments for us on Facebook, on YouTube, on our app. Let us know how you feel about this ice fishing festival. Let us know if you think it's cold. Let us know if you want to buy some fish, because apparently after all this is finished, they're going to be selling off a lot of the fish caught today. And probably don't leave us your address, but just let us know if you would like some fresh fish, because let me tell you, as soon as they come out the water, they're frozen already. And just wanna, yeah.
他问我去年的问题，他咋不问我大前年的问题呢？问我好回答。问我多大的鱼，我能给他记得吗？红鱼啊！刚才在这儿。我不采网，操！我就为了发型配他了，这采网我都不用打灯光，操！人拍我不是面带笑容。操！我不面带笑容啊！我不随和，有点像感冒，我还没跑完。
I don't know, we've been separated by the net. If you're just joining us, you're watching us live on CGTN China Global Television Network. I'm your host, Tiran Eve, and we're here with Travelog for the 6th annual Ice Fishing Festival. We're currently clearing out the last to be caught from this net. Almost got caught in the net myself. I would have been a really big fish. So, we are currently finishing off here. They've already found the biggest fish in this net. It's about a 15-kilo beast. It's about the length of my leg. And later on, instead of auctioning it off, which other ice festivals do, they're going to be letting it go, because here the lake
has had a long history of ice fishing. The local Manchus used to come here to catch a bit of winter protein. And according to their shamanic tradition, they're going to be letting go the biggest fish caught in this net. It's going to bless the lake, and hopefully next year we'll be able to catch even more fish. But from a technical point of view, if you're this guy is huge. 那个是头鱼吗？不是，这个不是头鱼。Oh, okay. I just thought there. Okay, that's not even the biggest fish being caught in the net. I remember it was over there, so we'll show it to you guys later. But even this fella is absolutely massive. Someone just asked if the fish is cold. No, I'm not. Soon. You can actually tell these are carp. Like this fella, for example, he's a big head carp. I'm not a crucian carp. I'm not quite sure. If you guys carp, because it's the fish and which is there'll be fish every year because fish are known for success. When you say 年年有余, hopefully every year there's fish. You're also hoping for success every year. Carp that were able to leap the or be able to turn into a dragon. Well, I think I'm going to copy that guy. So carp that were able to leap over the Dragon Gate were able to turn into dragons, which means that if you eat carp, and if you're like carp, as long as you work hard, you'll be able to succeed. Hello guys and girls, so if you're just joining us, we're live on CGTN Television Network, and we're almost seeing the Ice Fishing Festival. Here today they've caught tens of thousands of kilos of fish and okay, I'm sorry dude. I'm just going to leave him alone because I think he doesn't like me very much. But here on this ice fishing festival, the tradition is to let big fish go, like other ice fishing festivals.
俩住在一个地方。
Have been here since pretty much before sunrise, digging holes. We have 8 holes in general. They use one net to bring a huge amount of fish. And I mean, it is pretty amazing. It is pretty amazing to see. They have what is essentially with a sharp metal point at the end. It's about yay big, and they use it to hammer in. They managed to break up. Minutes, they're finally able to reach the bottom of the ice. The ice here is quite thick. It's about 70 centimeters thick, which is about the length of my now frozen arm. And they'll be able to. After that, they thread the net through, and using a very ingenious invention, they bring the net to the other holes. But what do they use to thread these nets around? I want to ask you guys at home, because some of you have been here for a long time. Some of you might have just joined. To tell me, what device do they use to thread the nets around the holes? CGTN Live. Let us know. And thank you again to the gentleman who said put on your gloves, because I do regret not taking your advice. My hands are frozen yet again. I'm probably going to get frostbite. The feet are gone as well, but it's all worth it, isn't it? I think we're close to wrapping up now. And there's a lot of fish here today. But don't worry, they'll all be put to good use. There are many delivery trucks around. I saw many online retailers in China really setting up their stand. And one part of the reason why there are so many tourists here today is because they've come not only to watch the spectacle, but to buy fish. Except for the big guy, all of the other fish will be sold off. Ones that don't get sold off, put into warehouses and stored for. And just as long as you like carp, because that's the only kind of.
你好，师傅，咱现在是收网是吗？
Okay, so we're not quite done yet. I think 是那个洞，是这个已经洞，不是冻住了，我说一噎，
Oh. Wow. Okay, so we have not even seen the biggest fish yet. Probably we've not seen the most amount of fish being pulled out yet, because they've stopped because there's too many fish down there. They can't bring it up through this tiny hole. So I don't know. This guy is now the biggest fish from this haul. I thought actually that they just had and he was like, oh, just based on experience, oh, we'll be able to. But
那时候什么时候放生啊？什么时候放生？我完了。
咱哪儿放完了？放那儿了。那这些呢？
放完了。这是人家买的是。
just joined us live on Television Network, I'm your host Tiran He, and we're here with Travelog for the 6th annual Ice Fishing Festival. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined at home, I'm your问您一下，这个鱼卖多少钱？哦，那这多少斤？40来斤吧。多少斤？40来斤。It's about 20 kilos this fish, and he doesn't quite know how much it's going to go for. 可是您觉得这肯定会能被卖的，是吧？对。啊 ，But this is definitely going to go. If you guys let us know if you want this guy. I'll see if I can buy him for you. Obviously, I'm not because he's very. 有人买吗？有人买吗？这个有人买吗？
师傅，黄去问不给他们照了。哎，走。大哥，这鱼有多重了？40来斤吧，得。40多斤。就现在是要卖是吧？
There was a recent ice festival on Chagan Lake where the biggest fish was sold for a whopping 860,000 RMB. That's 86,000 pounds. So if you've got a lot of money to burn, if you're a big spender, let us know and we'll see if we can grab a fish for you. But the rest of them are still waiting to be brought up. So, guys, I want to thank you very much. This is all the time we have today. You've been watching me, Tiran He, on Travelog on CGTN, China Global Television Network. This was a fantastic ice fishing festival. And, you know, as the saying goes, 年年有余. So every year there will be fish, every year there will be prosperity. And now, with the biggest fish already let go, hopefully we'll have even more next year.
多少斤就这个
？40多斤。
How much?
20 kilograms. He doesn't know how much it's going to cost her. Are we still live?
He is.